Hi everybody, today I am filming again, because the first time I filmed the footage got corrupted, my review of the Living Well planner. This planner had been requested by several of you, which is a good thing because I had never heard of it before, and so when I went to find it, I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. It says on the website that this planner should organize your whole life, not just your schedule. You can use it to take back your time, manage your budget, plan your meals, and crush your goals. And that is a lofty promise, my friends, and so I want to see if this planner lives up to the promise. Now, when I'm filming this video, everything on the website is on sale. The planner itself is normally $59, but on sale it's $49. The productivity bundle, which is what I got, which is the planner and these two notepads, is normally $69, but currently $59. You get free US shipping with purchases over $50. So the sale price brings the planner to just under the free shipping price, which is part of why I got the productivity bundle. But I also thought that these notepads looked interesting. You can also buy the notepads on their own. One of them is, I think they're both sticky notepads with magnets in the back, but we'll talk more about them in a minute. You can buy them each on their own. And I believe they're each normally like $12, but you get them for $9 with the sale. You still save money if you get the bundle. Now there are 4 different cover options. I got this floral one because of course I did. This is an undated planner. It has 100-pound paper. You get a, quote, Crushing It Bootcamp email series with the purchase of the planner. Shipping was super fast. I ordered it and got it like 2 or 3 days after it shipped, which was right after I ordered it. There's no information on the paper in the notepads. This one measures 5 by 7 and this one measures 3.5 by 9 inches. We'll take a look at the planner first, then we'll come to the notepad. So here is the planner. It is a wire O binding, and one of the cool things I noticed when it was shipped to me was that there was a styrofoam tube in the wire O binding. Now, I'm not a big fan of extra styrofoam packaging, but it did protect the coil, which I thought was fairly cool. It's a gold, slightly coated wire O binding, and then the cover is a chipboard with like a kind of a matte paper on top, but it doesn't have that matte touch. It has gold hardware on the sides to protect the corners. And then on the back, it's the same pattern, same hardware, and it has the logo of the planner. So when we open it up, the inside has a pocket, and I noticed this in my first review through, and I'm just noticing it again. With even a little bit of pressure, it's starting to tear. So I would be just careful with the pocket. I do like the way that it's striped, and there's like an optical illusion here. If you've ever seen that scene in Labyrinth when she's looking at the wall and she's like, I can't go through there. It's a wall. And she's like, no. And the little worm guy's like, no, it's not. I'm just a worm. And it's actually like an optical illusion where there actually is a corridor, which you can't tell just by looking at it. That's what this reminds me of. Total segue. Here's the front page, made with love. Practical solutions for everyday overwhelm. And it has a bunch of hellos here. When we get into the planner, we've got a bunch of information, letter from the founders, and then you can see my original pen test here, which I'm just gonna use when we get back to the pen test. The joys of corrupted footage. Anyway, so it gives you some information here, some time to get started, to setting aside a few hours to think about your goals and shit for the year. And they've got resources for you at their website. And then they suggest that you sit down once a week to plan, once a month, and once a season. Now, these opening pages are the goal setting pages. So here's your Do It Scared trademark system, which gives you some information. The year I will make blank a reality. This is the year I will do more and less. I choose blank over blank. Do big things this year. I must do this to get started today. And then over here, you've got long-term goals. Space for 3 major goals to accomplish this year. And then she's got 6 different areas to kind of look at. So personal growth, fun and recreation, health and fitness, home improvements, finance goals, and to connect with. So people to reach out to. You have a spot for your motto statement and a spot for your word of the year. Here's some informational pages. We have important dates with the whole year. And then an important info page, which has things like pediatrician, doctor, vet, school, blah, 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 emergency numbers, insurance numbers, bank and credit card numbers, and then other. It's so funny. Like, whenever I see things like this, I'm like, God, do I put like sensitive information in a planner that somebody could steal? When I look at this one, the emergency numbers and the insurance numbers make a lot of sense, but the bank and credit card info kinda, maybe not so much, although I'm so sorry, I can't stop yawning today. Whew. It's not really like you're putting your bank account number down. I don't know, I'm just musing on this. Anyway, and then you've got an other section to add whatever else is not listed here. And then down here we have year at a glance. So this is your important dates, but year at a glance, I think this is more like a future log sort of style. So you have the whole year. You have room for 3 big days per month and some lined sections. Now, I can imagine this year at a glance might be a good thing to do for like the next year's future planning, since you have monthly spreads in this planner and you have space up here for important dates. And it gives you a blank spot to put the year in. So whether it's meant to be for this year or not, I think that this could be best utilized as a like advanced planning. So if you were going to use this planner in 2022, I would use this for things coming up for 2023. And then you have a notes and ideas page with some flowery shit on the bottom. And then we get into the months. Now this is undated. The divider tabs are a coated cardstock and the tabs themselves are laminated. They do not have labels on them. And I believe the planner comes with stickers so that you can label it. It does. The stickers match the colors of the dividers, which match some of the extra accent colors of the planner. But if you wanted to date it starting a different month, there will be a little bit of a mismatch there. Just to point that out. More flowery shit. I love flowers, but there's a lot of flowery shit in this planner. And then we have your monthly goals page. So you have big 3 major goals to accomplish this month. You have the same 6 sections for things to do for this month. Your motto statement, and I don't know if that's meant to be like something you change each month or just like you're repeating, writing it down, which studies have shown when you rewrite shit, you remember it more. I don't know. And then a top goal for the month as well, which I find this is not a nitpick. This is just something I'm kind of amused by. Your top goals down here at the bottom. And then here is your goal crushing trademark page, breaking big into bite size. So claim your target. What do you want to accomplish? Refine your objective. Get specific about your measures of success. Understand your motivation. Why is this goal important? Step it out. What has to happen for this goal to be successful? And it gives you space for a bunch of steps. Handle obstacles. What are the potential roadblocks and what will you do when things get in your way? Implement your plan. What is the danger you face if you don't follow through? And treat yourself. How will you celebrate your win? The one thing I find interesting about this page is that if you have 3 big goals for the month, but you only have 1 breaking it down page, that seems a little weird. Like, I feel like you should have enough breaking it down pages for all 3 goals, but maybe it's meant to be like, what do you want to accomplish with these 3 goals overall? I don't know. And then we have a project planning page. Have a plan and believe in it. The details, important dates and milestones, must-dos, notes and ideas, and then a brainstorming section. Here is your month at a glance. It is undated, but it doesn't even have like Monday or Sunday, so you can make it whatever day start you want to. Each day is lined. There's a few lines on each day. Each day is lined, and then there is a little color flag for you to put in the actual dates of the planner. You have a notes column here and then a big days column here with like 6 different big days. And then the bottom here, which goes for the whole month, is the accent color of that month. So this month is pink. Here is your weekly plans page, which is a Monday start. Still undated, but it does give you a Monday start, week of. And then it has an hourly layout, which goes from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. with single hours, not half hours. A little flag at the top here for each day, I guess, for you to number each day. You've got a section for your must-dos, like a top 3. You've got a little crock pot to put your meal down, and then like a lined section. I guess you could use the whole thing for meals, or you could use it for other stuff. And then over here, you have a list section and a big days section. Each column is just under 1 3/4 inches. So these are wider than the 1.5 inch columns that tend to be, quote, normal in the planner community, although they're not, but that just seems to be like the standard situation. So using the 1.5 inch wide stickers, they will cover up, you could feasibly cover up the whole column except for the numbers going down the side if you orient it to the left. So if you wanted to maintain the hourly, you could do that and still see the numbers. You get 5 weeks per month, and then we jump into the budget pages for each month. So for these monthly budget pages, you have a section for expenses and then estimated, spent, the difference, and notes. And it's divided into a whole bunch of different sections. You have charity, you have savings, housing, utilities, food, clothing, transportation, insurance, health, personal, and debts. Now, I always find that budgets like this that are already filled out with a lot of shit can be helpful at the beginning to help you not forget stuff. But at the same time, there's often line items that may not apply to you, right? So if you don't go to church or tithe, like if you don't do giving to a church, then this very first line is not going to be helpful for you. Some people may give to different organizations each month and want to keep track of them individually. There wouldn't be enough space for that here. When it comes to, for as another just example of this, clothing, there's several different items in here that mention children or things that are related to children, like children clothing or babysitting, like children's clothing or babysitting, things like that. So there are items here, but that's what you're going to get with any pre-printed budget situation. Either it gives you a completely blank form or it gives you categories to get started in. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you think that these categories would be useful for you, then you might want to go with this planner. But if you think that there's just too many things you're going to cross out or you need different amounts of space, then this might not work for you. It also gives you a section up here for income minus expenses equals total. And then in the back, you have a monthly expense tracker with a column for date, description, and amount, total at the bottom, and then money, plans, and goals space on the side. If I could add anything to this, I would likely just add another page of monthly expenses, because I don't know if this would be enough for my family, but I guess if you're really on a budget, you might only want one page. And then we have a page here for thoughts and thanks, reflections on grace and gratitude, and you just have a bunch of space with like some little circles. You can use it however you want to. Then a notes and ideas page, and we're on to the next one. Now, every month has a quote on the front of it, and several of them are from Ruth Sokup. I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's the creator of the planner. I always find that a little amusing when the quotes in a planner are from the creator of the planner. I mean, I get it. I get why, especially if you're a fan of her and you're getting her planner, then that makes sense, but it kind of makes me chuckle. And so as you can see here, you've got like the different colors at the bottom to represent the colors that are the colors of the month. And so at the end of your 12 months, you have just a couple of note pages. You have their little social media page, information on their community, and then you have a bunch of stickers in the same kind of color scheme. You've got a bunch of day stickers to, I guess you can use these to like label each. There's 12 sets of these. So you can use these on your monthly spreads to date like Monday through Sunday or however you want to do the days in your monthly spread. And then you have tab stickers and month stickers to finish dating your planners. There's a handful of decorative stickers here, but the majority of the stickers in the back are to date your planner. And the sticker paper itself is kind of a little bit, it's a little thicker than standard paper, and it's very glossy. And then at the end of the planner, you have just the back cover, no pocket or anything, and then that's where it ends. And I'm not going to try and close it because it's this wire O binding, and we all know how much it sucks ass when you try to close it on that end. So I'm just going to show you the pen test that I did because I'm not going to do it again. I already did this once, but the pen test I did, I used my usual pens. I used a Pentel Energel Clenna, a fine liner from Pitt Artist Pens, a Tombow dual brush pen, Zig Clean Color dot pen, a Zebra mild liner highlighter. I pressed down hard, like light and hard with the dot pen, and I made sure to double up on the highlighter. And when we look at this side, the press down hard of the Zig pen and where the highlighters pressed down originally bled through, but everything else just shadows. There's only very light ridging from the gel pen. It's 100-pound paper, and so it's not going to be super, super bleed resistant, but I think that you can use pens and markers in here if you don't mind a little bit of shadowing, and if you're just careful to not like go hella ham with it. The paper it's not bright white. It's got a bit of a cast, kind of like a grayish cast to it. And it's smooth, but it has a very, very slight tooth. Before I look at the notepads, my overall thoughts on this planner is that it's a solid planner. The colors are very like happy and bright. If you're into those colors, this may be a great planner for you. If you're someone like me who likes to add my own colors, it's just going to be too hard to cover that shit up to make it neutral. So for my personal taste, this would not be a good planner for me, but I do love how pretty and bright the color scheme is. I really like the layout of it. I think that it has a lot going for it. When it comes to its lofty claim of take back your time, manage your budget, plan your meals, and crush your goals, I feel like the goal setting stuff in here and the budgeting stuff in here is solid. It may not be a system I would personally use, but if these kinds of systems would work for you, there's a lot in here to help you through that. The only thing with the goal setting that I feel like is missing, purely based on what they talk about at the beginning of the planner, is I wish there was some sort of a like every 3 months little check-in. They do say they want you to go back in and plan seasonally, but there is nothing to go and like check in on your shit except for your monthly check-ins. So if they hadn't said that about planning seasonally, I wouldn't have been looking for it, but because they did say that, it felt kind of like it was missing to me. Also, there isn't really much in the way of a year-end reflection, which is something I always like to see with a goal-setting system. But generally speaking, this goal-setting system, it's not as complicated as the Power Sheets or the Moxie Life, but it's not as like general as some other goal pages in other planners. I feel like it's a nice kind of middle-of-the-road, approachable goal-setting system for somebody who might not want to be going like full ham on it. The one area that they did make a claim on that I feel like is missing a little bit of oomph is the meal planning system. All they've done with that is give you a little meal section on each day of the week. There isn't any extra space. There isn't any extra pages for planning your meals. There isn't any extra reference pages. Like, I would almost rather, instead of there being both a big dates and a important dates, like there's a year at a glance, and then there's also the important dates page, I would almost rather they had condensed this just into this one spread and given you space for like your top meals or something. That would have added to their whole, like, this planner can do everything for you. And the other real issue with that is that there's like very few note pages. So if you wanted to do any sort of meal planning or grocery list, you don't have a ton of note space to use up with this planner. Now, I'm not saying that every planner has to include that, but I'm going back to the things they say this planner can do. I feel like the weakest area of their claims in this planner is the meal planning. But generally speaking, this is a fairly solid planner. I feel like this feels a little bit more secular and a little less overwhelming than the Passionate Penny Pincher planner. So if that was kind of interesting to you, but you felt a little bit all over the place with it, maybe this is a good one to check out. Let's take a quick look at these notepads. So the paper, they don't tell you what the paper weight is, but it feels similar in thickness, but a little less smooth than the other one. They are sticky notepads, and they both come with a magnet on the back, although I have found personally that it's a very rare notepad where the magnet is strong enough to stay up on my refrigerator as a whole notepad. So this one is the Weekly Wizard sheet. So it's your weekly little notepad, right? And so it gives you space for your big focus, your must-dos, your should-dos, and your would-like-to-dos, and then space for personal growth, fun and recreation, health and fitness, and connections to make. And then your other notepad is the Daily Do It sheet. And so this is a daily sheet. My one thing for the day, must-dos, should-dos, would-like-to-dos, others need from me, a successful day is, and how I'll celebrate. I really like the color schemes in this. I'm not a huge fan of that bridesmaid style font, but that's a personal preference. I don't think I would use either of these, mostly just because I I don't know. I'm looking at them and they're a little busy for what I want out of a daily notepad, for one. For two, it's almost like this one is too extensive for me and this one is not extensive enough for the week. Like I would, I almost wish that I had like a weekly little thing like you see on some weekly notepads where they give you like a box for each day. Honestly, what I would love to see from this planner is like one of these, except for meal planning, that you could add into the planner. But I'm back on the meal planning kick. Anyway, these are interesting. They are definitely not for me, but they are solidly made, and I think that if this is something specific that you're looking for, this could really work out for you. The biggest real issue in terms of quality with this planner is just that you just gotta be careful with the paper and not go extra flavorful with the inky highlighters. Anyway, I will be giving this one away. I'm not sure when yet. It's undated, so I've got some time, but keep an eye on the YouTube community tab because that's where I'm going to be announcing all of my giveaways in the next couple of months. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, both what you think about this planner and if there's any other planners you'd like me to take a look at. This is a great example of one that I had never heard of, but you guys told me about and I bought it so I could review it so you could decide whether to spend your money wisely on it or not. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, friends, peace.